Abandoned mines are scattered throughout the Earth's surface and will make a lasting impact on the world as we know it. These pose dangers to our health, whether some get trapped in them or decide to swim in the water found in the pit. Everyone should be aware of the potential hazards. From the largest iron pit mine in the US to dangerous uranium mines in Western Asia. Here are abandoned mines.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to American Eye. If you haven't been here before, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Number 11. Iron Blow, Tasmania. One of the earliest mines ever built in the continent of Australia was built in Tasmania in the 1880s. Prospectors searched long and hard for some kind of metal, and although they would have preferred gold, iron is still quite useful as well. The iron mining industry brought a fair share of new inhabitants to the area, as well as a mining and railway company named after Mount Lionel, where the iron was found. Operation continued at this site up until 1929, but after some issues with the smelting company began to arise, it made it harder to operate for a long period of time. Enough rainfall has caused a toxic lake in this abandoned mine that you definitely wouldn't want to swim in, which brings me to my next one. Number 10. Montaigne Ma, Spain. While it might look like a refreshing oasis to go swimming in the north of Spain, it turns out it's actually an abandoned tungsten mine and it's highly toxic. It was active between 1975 to 1980, which had a highly sought-after metal. Tungsten is prized for its ability to withstand high temperatures without melting, which makes it excellent for spacecraft or high-altitude flights. This person here decided that it would be a great idea to take some photos at the lake and even go swimming in it. Some people even mocked her for a decision, saying that you're going swimming in a toxic lake and pretending that it's some kind of nice fashion vacation pic. Several people have reported feeling severely ill after going for a swim, including some skin irritation and getting an upset stomach. The mining company that worked here claimed that the turquoise waters were from all kinds of bad stuff. Number 9. The Pawhuska Quarry Copper Mine. This abandoned mine was one of the oldest in the eastern part of the United States, and some historians even believe that the original mine was built by Dutch settlers. Mining was attempted here for brief periods of time, and a lot of people gave up on trying to make a profit here. This meant that much refining needed to take place, which ultimately proved to be rather costly. One of the first major attempts came in 1747 up until 1758, but this would prove to be a failure. Another attempt in 1947 came, but due to low concentrations of ore, they quickly gave up. The last hopeful attempt came in from the Montgomery Gold Leaf Company, who abandoned the mine only after producing 3 ingots of refined copper. Number 8. Accident Mine, Nevada. What a great name for a mine. Sounds like something is just waiting to happen here. Nevada is home to a lot of abandoned mines, and people in this state need to be careful not to get stuck in them. Many of the mines are located in remote areas, and here's a good example of some of the strange remote mines outside of Las Vegas. These are very difficult to access, and getting there would require some serious off-roading. Even if you really wanted to get here, you probably shouldn't, because it's where they used to mine hazardous things like lead and zinc. It's so remote that very few photos were taken that we can show you. Anyone else trying to come here would also have to travel through Dead Man's Canyon, which doesn't seem too appealing. The mine was probably more accessible back when it was used, but here from this photo, we can see how it'd be a pretty steep climb to get to the edge of this desert mountain. There'd be all kinds of prickly desert shrubs that get in the way. Other places such as Good Springs, Nevada are almost like zombie towns that were completely abandoned but slowly brought back to life. Number 7. Kennecott, Alaska. Kennecott, Alaska was once a thriving mining area in the early 20th century. It was the location where miners who worked on extracting valuable copper from several different nearby places would settle down. But like most mining towns in the US, it wouldn't be permanent. This ghost town is found in southeast Alaska on the Wrangell-St. Elias National Park, so it certainly has a chance to stay around for a while. Despite it being on a preserve and a national park, the US government really needed copper at that time, so they decided to make an exception in this case. Copper is crucial for electronic devices, and at peak productions, this mine would yield a whopping $32.4 million worth of ore. Americans were quite effective in removing the ore, and in 1938, all the copper was gone. This left Kennecott as a ghost town, since people no longer had a way to make a living. The train stopped coming here, and this was the end of the town of Kennecott, which housed a population of 127 people. The impressive mining architecture of this area still remains, and tourists still come here to visit one of the US's most well-preserved ghost towns. Number 6. Groom Mine. We're sure you've thoroughly explored Area 51 with Google Maps already, but you might have missed something. Located just a couple miles away from the infamous top-secret military base is Groom Mine. It turns out that someone's been living there the entire time since the 1800s and couldn't know the truth about Area 51. Granted, they probably didn't know that they were building their home in a dangerous place, but it just turned out to be that way. They've been one of the very few people who've been allowed to stay on the National Nevada Security Site since they technically were there first. This might remind you of that movie, The Hills Have Eyes, where a family encounters mutants who've been living on the bombing range. Anyway, according to some sources, they've had one heck of a view of nuclear bombs going off and experimental aircraft. And you thought your next-door neighbors were noisy. A couple of years ago, the mining family relocated to Las Vegas, and Groom Mine has gone abandoned. Will the people who live there ever share their secrets? Number 5. The Hull-Rust-Mahoning Iron Mine. The largest open-pit iron mine in the United States is 1.5 miles wide by 3.5 miles long and can be as deep as 600 feet. This is located in the state of Minnesota, and it's believed that it produces as much as 1/4 of all the iron ore used by the U.S. during World War I and World War II. The mine was first established in 1892, and it started off as a deep underground mine, but eventually it seemed a little bit better to build an open-pit mine. It almost looks like a man-made version of the Grand Canyon, as the iron turns a reddish brown when it's exposed to oxygen. New cities were built to accommodate the workers coming here, and the mine rapidly expanded as iron is used for steel to construct skyscrapers, weaponry, bridges, airports, stadiums, etc. It's believed that an estimated 690 tons of iron were removed from this open pit mine when it was operational. Today, it stands proud as a National Historical Site. Number 4. Maylu Su. This place is one of the most polluted and radioactive sites in the world. Mine operations from 1946 to 1968 left this place severely damaged. They managed to mine nearly 10,000 tons of uranium ore for the Soviet nuclear program. A landslide that took place in 1958 released 6,000 cubic meters of material from this mine. This left radioactive particles all over the place. There's more than 20,000 times the normal amount of radiation at this location. When the mining operations ended, it left many people without jobs. It's believed that many settlers of this region put themselves in danger and attempt to sell the metal to scrap metal dealers. Number 3. Pyramidn. Possibly the most remote and the most abandoned place in the world would have to be the settlement of Pyramidn, located on the Norwegian territory of Svalbard. If you take a look at Svalbard on the map, you can tell it's really not close to anything. The Soviet Arctic ghost town was once prosperous due to large coal deposits in the area, but now that coal is gone, and since 1998, so are the people. The abandoned mines, though, are all over the place. However, Norway has been hoping to turn this place into somewhat of a tourist attraction. Not being situated too far from the regional capital of Longyearbyen, it's a quick hour ride by snowmobile or by dog sled. If you do decide to come here, be sure to dress warm and try not to get too spooked out by all the abandoned things here. Number 2. Sutter's Mill. Just by finding a few flakes of gold at the base of the Sierra Nevada mountains sparked one of the largest migrations in history and made California the most populated state. In 1848, when James Marshall found some gold at Sutter's Mill, word got around that there was gold in California. In 1849, prospectors head west to claim their stake. Getting rich quick was on everyone's mind. In 1848, the population of San Francisco was only 1,000 people, but by 1850, it was a bustling city with over 20,000 people. Fortune seekers from all over the world like China, Germany, Mexico, Ireland, Turkey, and of course the Eastern United States moved to California during this period. California officially became a state in the 1850s, partially thanks to there being gold there. If this moment of history never happened, the Western United States would most likely be much less developed and less rich. Now you know why California is called the Golden State. And number 1, the Blue Lagoon. Located in Derbyshire, United Kingdom, this might sound and look like a cool place to take a swim. Looks can certainly be deceiving though. The inviting bluish-green color actually comes from a toxic slew of chemicals like ammonia left over in this lake that was actually a quarry. The quarry flooded and the water mixed with the chemicals, and there you go. It has a pH level of 11.3, which is almost as acidic as bleach. So unless you like taking a bath in bleach, you probably don't want to swim here. Surprisingly, it's still a popular place for naive Brits who want to take a swim. Signs around it state that there's often dead animals, garbage, and feces here in order to deter people from swimming there. British officials also tried to dye it black in 2013, but people still swim there nonetheless.
Wow, now that was an interesting video. Be sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and leave us a suggestion on what you'd like to see in the future. We'll see you next time.